These high-speed police chases changed everything, where one moment led to consequences no one could reverse. On the 19th of October 2024, I'm Trooper Tanner Seal with the Arkansas State Police, running radar on Highway 78 inches, Dell. The moment I hear the engine and see the speed spike, I activate my lights, and the rider immediately takes off, turning it into a pursuit. As soon as he realizes he's been spotted, he pushes past 130 miles per hour. That's a full commitment to fleeing. At this point, my focus shifts to managing speed and distance, avoiding early pressure that could cause total loss of control. The rider starts weaving, briefly slowing, then accelerating again. This is a common attempt to test how we react. I hold a steady gap and broadcast his description over the radio so units ahead can prepare for positioning.
Black and red helmet, can't get the tag right now. Coming up to Fleeman Road, westbound, still in Manila, light traffic.
As the pursuit moves through Manila, he continues aggressive lane changes and rides close to the shoulder. At this stage, the goal isn't to close in, it's to maintain pressure and let the suspect make the mistake. Approaching a 40 miles per hour curve at over 100 miles per hour, the situation changes. He has no choice but to slow down. That's our window, the moment where control becomes possible without escalating risk.
Miles an hour coming to the curve, he's brake checking me.
As soon as his speed drops, I move in and give clear commands. Get on the ground, hands behind your back. This is the control phase, fast, direct, and decisive to eliminate any chance of further resistance or escape.
Face! On your face right now, mother! Get down! Get down! Now! Put your hands behind your back right now! Straighten your legs!
The suspect is identified as Michael Eves from Mississippi. He's charged with fleeing law enforcement, reckless driving, no insurance, and no motorcycle license. Penalties include jail time, heavy fines, and long-term license suspension. In Springdale, Arkansas, along Sunset Avenue, we were working alongside Arkansas State Police, conducting a traffic stop on a motorcycle. Within seconds, the rider hit the throttle and fled. What started as a routine stop instantly escalated into a high-speed pursuit. The moment he fled, his behavior showed classic panic-driven acceleration focused only on speed, ignoring everything around him. For us, the objective isn't immediate capture, it's controlling direction and maintaining distance to avoid forcing a premature loss of control. The pursuit became clearly defined along Sunset, looping through the West End area. The suspect repeatedly circled back, an indicator of disorientation under pressure. We used radio coordination to build a soft containment perimeter, gradually limiting his escape options instead of closing in aggressively.
He's moving around right here.
Traffic began to build, increasing the risk significantly. At this point, the strategy shifted from speed to risk management. When a suspect is boxed into dense traffic, the likelihood of self-induced mistakes rises, often more effective than direct intervention.
Just trying to keep each other around. There's heavy traffic, but everybody's yelling.
The rider suddenly cut through a parking lot and onto open grass, unstructured evasion with no clear plan. Once off stable pavement, his speed advantage disappeared. We maintained controlled pressure, allowing the situation to collapse on its own rather than forcing a dangerous close-in maneuver. The motorcycle was finally disabled, and the suspect attempted to flee on foot but was quickly apprehended. The individual, a Springdale resident, now faces charges including fleeing from law enforcement, resisting arrest, and multiple serious traffic violations, with penalties likely including jail time, fines, and license suspension. Along Phoenix Road near the Greenville intersection, we received a call about a motorcycle suspect attempting to evade. From the start, the rider's movement pattern was irregular, signaling this was no longer a routine traffic stop, but a situation with the potential to escalate quickly.
So I'm 1037 with a motorcycle, about 28. We are eastbound on Phoenix.
You're 10-1 across.
Secondary.
10-4. It's 29 across.
Just passing 30 seconds.
Passing 30 seconds.
On the 15th of September 2022, in Arkansas, a truck driver made multiple online threats targeting law enforcement, the governor, and others. Authorities quickly located the suspect and took over the pursuit to stop the situation before
Phoenix passing Greenville.
Law enforcement initiated the pursuit as the suspect continued driving at high speed. The vehicle repeatedly changed direction and used the shoulder to pass other cars along the roadway. The route continued to shift as the truck approached major intersections. Radio communication tracked movement across multiple roadways while the suspect maintained high speed in a heavily trafficked area.
Don't reach for nothing. Don't reach for nothing. I got the bag. I got the bag. I got the bag. You don't have any weapons, hey man.
The pursuit escalated as the suspect drove through traffic at high speed. Additional units joined the pursuit while the vehicle continued moving dangerously through congested road conditions.
His pockets. He was reaching for something on this side. He was reaching for something over in this side.
The bag in that your pocket.
I'm not
You're reaching and I'm telling you to quit.
I'm not reaching, sir. Shut up.
The route transitioned onto major highways, including eastbound I-40 and connecting roadways. Ongoing radio updates tracked the vehicle as it moved out of the initial area. Intervention was initiated as a pit maneuver was performed. The patrol vehicle and the suspect's truck collided and spun across the roadway in a severe crash. On the 15th of October 2023, in Salvador, Brazil, we identified a motorcycle driving dangerously through a densely populated neighborhood. When we initiated a stop, the suspect immediately accelerated and fled. The pursuit began under tight urban conditions, limited visibility, and high risk to civilians nearby. Within seconds, the situation escalated beyond a routine stop. The rider started weaving through extremely narrow gaps. This kind of movement relies almost entirely on luck. We held distance instead of closing in, avoiding pressure that could trigger panic and cause an immediate crash. The real question isn't whether he's skilled, it's how long he can sustain that level of control. In reality, no one maintains perfect precision under continuous pressure. We stayed patient, knowing that a mistake wasn't a possibility, it was a certainty. Sparks began flying as the bike scraped the pavement, clear evidence of mechanical instability. The passenger was inches away from a serious crash. At this stage, we avoided boxing him in because any forced move could have instantly resulted in both riders going down. The situation shifted into full chaos. The suspect was now operating beyond the physical limits of the bike. We applied soft containment, controlling forward space and limiting escape routes rather than forcing a direct stop that could escalate the danger. The pursuit ended when the suspect was safely apprehended, bringing the chaos to a stop. This is how these situations typically conclude: pressure, compounded errors, and physical limits all converging at once. What started with acceleration ended in total loss of control. The suspect was identified as a local male from Salvador, Brazil. He faces charges including fleeing law enforcement, reckless driving, and endangering public safety. He is likely to face jail time, long-term license suspension, and significant financial penalties. This is the real cost of running from the police. The incident occurred on the 25th of April 2021 during a patrol by Georgia State Police in an urban park area. We identified an individual acting suspiciously, As we approached, the subject quickly moved away and attempted to blend into a crowd to avoid contact.
1081 on the north side. It's a four-wheeler, black green t-shirt, north side, northbound. It's going back towards the park, 1012. Alright, Lenny, he's going up to the park. He's mingling with the other.
The suspect continued moving through a crowded area, changing direction multiple times. Units maintained visual contact and followed at a controlled distance. Officers coordinated over the radio, updating positions to ensure the subject was not lost during the movement. After some time, the suspect slowed down, allowing officers to close the distance. Units moved in carefully, maintaining proper spacing and preparing to initiate a direct stop when conditions became suitable.
He's down on the ground. There's only 1095 with him.
Put your hand up the back. Oh, his hand right
Good
back.
for you.
Yeah, look. Get up.
Alright, there's 1095 with him. So there's no fast street. Come on, sir. Once the field's clear.
The suspect was stopped and ordered to sit down. Officers conducted initial control and questioned the reason for fleeing. The situation was handled quickly to stabilize the scene and prevent any further escalation.
We're back around to the park.
Idiot. It's your bike? Stolen? No. Registered to you? Where'd you buy it?
My motorsport.
Okay.
Hey, my hand, bro.
We're back to the park.
Me?
I'm saying it's broke, though.
Oh, okay. Well, you still...
Officers proceeded to place the suspect in handcuffs and maintain control. Clear commands were given, including placing hands behind the back, staying still, and providing access to keys. All actions followed standard safety procedures.
Yeah, damn, man. Why'd you do that, dude?
I'm scared, bro. I'm just trying to
Get back, Chief.
Hey, you can tighten my thing. I'm tightening it, bro.
Dude, I'm going to make sure you don't have any other weapons.
I ain't got no weapon.
Listen
My
to me.
only weapon, that weapon is registered, but it's not no stolen
Listen to
gun,
me.
bro. I'm grown,
When
bro.
we're done, I will tighten.
Bro,
If you had not ran.
Bro, for real, bro.
We won't worry about that. Give me 5 minutes. Sit the hell up. I'd search you, man. Spread your legs. Spread your legs.
While the suspect was being secured, other units continued providing updates over the radio. Information about a related vehicle in the area suggested the situation might involve additional individuals.
Go ahead for the traffic light.
They're not tight. Turn
You
your
got
head
a
down
big
the hill.
dually trying to get to you, black female driver possibly coming up Metropolitan Parkway, running red lights and stop signs, stepping out of the car to find the helicopter, trying to get to the scene.
So, once we see y'all clear on that traffic.
Romeo Union Bravo 1075, RUP 2275. 30 D2.
The suspect remained under control as officers continued their checks. Hand positioning and body control were maintained at all times to ensure there were no sudden or unsafe movements during the interaction.
You know not to run from the police. You pick the wrong one to run from today. That's not hard. Oh, what is that? You got any weapons on you? Yes, sir. That's okay. Felony charges. Yeah, felony footing. I wasn't fleeing. No, you wasn't in the roadway. No, he was not in the roadway. He was in the side. So he came out the grass. He hit me. You hit him. Sir, no, I did not. So that's, oh, my camera. See, that's, oh!
Officers continued giving instructions to complete the process. The suspect was directed to comply, provide hands, and follow movement commands. The situation moved toward full control as resistance decreased.
You can just take it off, man. I'm not going to do that.
What's the cross street? Lee Street what? We on Van Buren.
Look. Look at my ear test on there. Can I grab this, please?
No,
It's just black mouth.
Okay, stop.
It's just black mouth. I'm just been right.
Give me your hand.
Sir.
Turn around.
Sir, I'm about to get locked up.
Yeah, you are.
I know, and I'm sorry.
The suspect acknowledged the situation and stopped resisting. Officers completed the final steps on scene and prepared to transport the individual for further processing according to procedure, for involvement with a stolen bicycle and fleeing during a stop. Identity has not been officially released. Charges include theft, resisting, and evading. Potential penalties may involve jail time, fines, and additional legal consequences depending on the case.